Hey guys, oh wait, shoot. Okay, hey, hey guys, it's me, Jeremy. I'm with Lightsamps here. His real name's Brandon, but on Instagram, of course, he doesn't really show that.
It's the alias, you know.
Yeah, so we're just gonna be talking about raw foods and how it has changed lots of people's lives. And also, Brandon here, he's been raw for how long?
5 years in December.
5 years in December.
It's September, so yeah, 3 months out from being 5 years. 99.9% raw living foods, baby. You can do it. It's not just a cleanse, it can be a lifestyle.
Okay, so obviously you've been doing it for pretty long, so you've gone through like the ins and outs. You've seen what has worked for you personally.
Absolutely.
What is something that you can give, like any advice to the viewers that, you know, if they want to do this long term, what is something they need to focus on?
One thing that I would recommend anybody on the raw lifestyle, well, before you even get into the raw lifestyle, I would like question yourself, like, why are you getting into the raw lifestyle? You know, if it's for healing, great. If it's for like a short-term type cleanse thing, you know, great. But why would you want to do this long term? You know, what makes you want to do it? For you, are you trying to, you know, get closer to yourself, closer to spirit? Are you trying to have more energy? Are you trying to feel good? Are you trying to have longevity? All this stuff's great. But if you don't have, in my experience, like what I found, bro, if you don't have a connection with spirit, I don't know if you're gonna last on this lifestyle. I don't know, and that's just the truth. I've seen lots of people come on and off the lifestyle, and the people who are successful, they got a strong connection with spirit. You know, I mean, this lifestyle you start to move away from the denser foods, you know, and the denser energy sources. And yeah, there's lots of energy in the fruit, lots of energy in the sugar, the mangoes. This stuff is amazing. But you're gonna start to get nourished from other sources than food. You know, you're gonna start to get nourished when you walk outside. You're gonna start to get nourished when you know, lay in the sun, when you breathe, when you get out in nature. You're gonna start getting a lot more nourishment from these, you know, subtle energies. And some people aren't ready for that. You know, some people aren't ready for it. Some people don't know how to harness it. And so if you don't have that strong connection with source, I would start with that. I would start connecting yourself closer and closer and closer to God. The universe, the Most High, you know, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's all the same thing. It's all making a heartbeat. You know, I don't want to get too off the woo-woo land, but hey, you know, that's what I'm just saying. From my experience, you're going to want to strengthen your connection with source. You really are. And when you do that, things are going to come up. Emotions are going to come up, and that's okay. You might fall off the wagon. That's okay. Just get back on the horse, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes hand in hand with with detox as well, with making sure you're detoxing and peeling back the layers of the onion. You know, I mean, how long were you eating crappy foods, bro, before you turned raw?
18 years.
18 years.
18 years. I mean, it's up and down too. I mean, when you first start, like, you know, I don't know where you guys are coming from, but I know that, you know, if you're coming from somewhere, like, you know, he already said, like, a long time you've already been eating junk food, it might take you, who knows, a certain amount of time to actually get back on track and relearn what is actually what your body actually needs. And even then, it might take, you know, a year to actually get consistent with what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Right. I mean, is that what you found?
Yeah, well, I mean, I messed up like crazy for the first 6 months. For the first 6 months, I messed up like crazy. I'd go raw for like 2 weeks. Oh man, the beans and rice sound good. Hit the old Mexican restaurant. You know, I would go raw for then a month, and then, you know, maybe some sort of event would come up or a holiday, you know, and you try to be normal and you try to whatever, you know. And so that's what I'm saying is, once you strengthen your connection with spirit more, and you gain your own consciousness, and you gain your own energy, your own thoughts, your own way of life, you know, it just helps so much, because you know, getting used to these lighter foods goes hand in hand with getting used to source energy. You will feel the source energy. The source energy will feel, you know, it will flow through you. So you got to be able to harness that, and you got to be able to understand that there's energy just showering this planet all over. It has nothing to do with food. It has nothing to do with food, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not ready to take that step into the more, energetics, then the raw lifestyle might not be for you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for a little short term, but for long term, I would say you gotta strengthen your connection with the subtle energies around you, and you'll start to get nourished. That doesn't mean you're gonna get malnourished and you're gonna get all teeny and weak. It's like, I've never been stronger in my life than when I started eating the raw foods. I couldn't do one pull-up in high school. I was eating breakfast burrito, sausage in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Like pizza at lunch and like steak at night. I was eating meat 3 times a day. Oh, meat. You're supposed to be strong on the meat. You're supposed to have all the muscles. I couldn't do one pull-up. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do one pull-up. I was athletic. I played varsity basketball for 4 years. I was like super athletic, but I wasn't that strong. I had a good jumper. I could dribble. I could shoot. All that. But I didn't have that much strength. I got on the raw foods. My weight balanced out. There was a detox phase, absolutely. Everyone freaking out. My face started sucking in. Well, of course, the body's gonna get rid of its old dead cells, before it rebuilds the strong cells. It's just how it is. You start peeling back the layers of the onion, and if you don't go through the detox process, that's another thing. People start tripping out, freaking out on the raw because they have a few detox symptoms. Hey, a couple of detox symptoms now beats a lifetime in a hospital bed later. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what's gonna happen. I mean, I probably lost, 20, 25 pounds, and then once my weight stabilized, I gained muscle, gained strength, gained 35 pounds back. I was stronger. I can bust out 10 pull-ups now off the rip, and I couldn't do one back in the day on the meat-eating strongman diet. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about like starving yourself. It's not about being malnourished. It's about fixing the malabsorption in your body, cleaning the plaque out, cleaning the crap in your colon, cleaning your intestines, so you can absorb more. So you can absorb more of the food. Barely anybody is absorbing their food, bro.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, it's expensive poop. People just have expensive poop and expensive pee because it's just going in and out, in and out, in and out. It's just like, picture the pipe coming, the water bringing into your house. The pipe. So yeah, the water comes into your house, but there's lots of gunk around that pipe. In the little villi, there's little hair-like tentacles all up and down, your GI tract that absorb the nutrients. What happens is, over the years of eating all of these unnatural foods, the body releases plaque, and for a defense mechanism, the body's smart. The body sees this unnatural food come in, it says, what the heck is this? You know what I'm saying? So then bang, it loads out this protein plaquing to protect itself, so it doesn't absorb the food, because the body damn well knows it doesn't want it. It does not want it. So you got to break that plaque down. You got to break that protein wall down. And once you start clearing the plaque out, and once you start clearing the junk out and you start absorbing, that's when you're starting to get past the detox phases more and more and more. You're starting to absorb, you're starting to feel energized, you get past the hump, and there you go, man.
Yeah. So say if somebody, they already have their vision of why they want to do this, and they have it very clear in their head, right? Like what the reason is that they're doing this, and it's not necessarily about just the food, and they've figured out that it's not just, it's more of like connecting to yourself and source. Mm-hmm. Right? What is something that you'd recommend them to go into, like to transition from the junk food
just
to the junk to the better side of things?
I like the whole eating as much raw food as you can until the evening time. I like that for a good transition. That's not that that's not that difficult. If you can eat as much raw food as you can, for breakfast, for lunch. There's the Raw Till 4 program out there, some people are familiar with and popular, which I like that transition. Go out, buy as much fruit as you possibly can, whatever's in season, whatever's in bulk, whatever's right, whatever you're attracted to. get the best stuff, and if you get a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? If you come home and you look at your fruit and you look at your fruit stash and you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of fruit, then you and me both know then you probably did it right.
Yeah.
You know, you probably did it right. If people look at you and you're like, oh my gosh, what are you gonna do with all that fruit? Then you're doing it right. You know what I'm saying? We have to get used to filling up off fruit. Fruit is just this snack. You know what I'm saying? People view it as this snack, but we need to learn to fill up off the fruit. You know, so filling up off fruit in the morning, a big half a melon or something, or a whole melon, whatever you need to feel satisfied. You know, and then, you know, whatever throughout the day, whatever's in season. I love figs right now. I'm eating tons of figs. Winter's coming around the corner. That means tons of citrus, tons of apples, whatever is in season. Again, and just eat. And I'm not talking you have 1 or 2 apples in the morning. That ain't gonna cut it. You know, you're gonna need probably 4, 5, 6 apples. You know, and it's gonna take some time to get used to, of course. But over time, your stomach will get used to the fiber. You know, to get used to the more of the volume of the food. Because let's face it, this much cooked food, calorie-wise, is about, you know, this much raw food, you know, calorie-wise. So, yeah, I would recommend, you know, you hit the fruit hard in the morning, you hit the fruit hard in the lunch, and then evening coming around, that's usually when the cravings come and everyone wants the warm food and everyone, that's cool. Eat like a clean, you know, cooked meal at night. If you could avoid the animal products, great. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the cleaner cooked foods I like wild rice for some people. I like quinoa, you know, and, you know, your own home soaked beans and stuff is cool. You know, sweet potatoes, cool. You know, stuff like that, like pretty clean, just still whole foods that aren't processed. You know, so if you can do that, and then let's say you start, okay, you're nailing the fruit. Even if you have to do just fruit for breakfast, all right, you can start there. And then whatever for lunch, you know, but just work your way up to fruit throughout the day, and then a cooked meal at night. Clean, mean, green, awesome. And then let's say you nail that. All right, now let's try a day where you do full raw. You know, let's try a day and let's see, ooh, can I skip that cooked meal at night? Let me see if I could do it. And you do a big salad, you know, you get your savory in, you get your fats in, you get your greens in, you get your diversity in. And then bang, you did it. You did one day. Let's say you have to do cook the next day. Great, who cares? As long as you keep just, okay, challenging yourself to do one more fully raw day, one more fully raw day. And then, you know, one day will turn into 2 days will turn into 3 days will turn into a week. And there you go. The more you start putting the good stuff in, the more your body will crave it. Simple as that. Your body craves what you're made out of. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do, you know, is just slowly knocking it out. Fruit, cook dinner. See if you can do all raw one day, and then the more days you can replicate in that. It's not a failure if you go all raw for 2 days and then you do cooked for a few days.
Yeah.
No, just go back on the raw. And then, you know, the more and more days you go full raw, the more and more days you're closer to your goal, if that's the goal that you wish to obtain.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. I think that people, they think of it as all the way, you're going uphill, right? You're going uphill, but they don't realize that there's gonna be these obstacles in the way.
Oh yeah.
There's gonna be obstacles in the way because of what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When you're growing up, you know, you've been eating that junk food the whole time, so you probably have so many obstructions in your body, just things that are gonna come up.
And mentally.
Yeah, mentally, and then there's the emotional part as well. So you have emotions that are stuck in your body as well. So just eating a lighter diet is gonna bring out those emotions, and it's gonna want you to actually crave, you know, other, like the cooked food. Go back to the cooked food. I mean, what do you think about that, Brandon?
About just the emotional factor,
or the fact that people think it's gonna be always uphill.
There's gonna be sticks and stones and and there's gonna be ditches, there's gonna be pits. You're gonna fall down, you're gonna scrape your knee. I mean, I got into this raw stuff when I was like no one around me, so I'm more than likely, if you're watching this and if you're interested with raw, no one around you is doing raw either. You know, let's face it. So you know, the good part about it though is there is the social media. There is people that you can, you know, ask questions or, you know, look at, or you can, you know, there's YouTube videos out there. There's tons of content. So what I would do is, you know, I would just completely shower yourself in information of raw, and go to YouTube. Look at raw people all day long. Look at what do they eat in a day. Look at I'm not saying you find like one guru and you like stick to that and you like do everything that this person says. You know what I'm saying? But you take what works from this person, you take what works from that person, you take what resonates with you. You know what I'm saying? And check out my channel, Lightsamps Living.
Yeah, check it out. Shout out.
Yeah, I got about 80 videos on there, so check it out. So that's what I would do, it's not gonna, like you said, it's not gonna be, wee, yay, my life is amazing, my life is amazing. Oh, please. I've had to work so much on my life on the raw because the raw forces the junk out of you. Everyone's good. All right, so as I was saying, everyone's numbing themselves all day, with the cooked. Even if you don't think the cooked food is numbing you, then go one day without eating it. You know what I'm saying? Try to go one day without eating it and tell me the cooked food is not numbing you. It does. Listen, there's biophotons in all these foods, okay? Everything has a magnetic and energetic field. When you cook the food, you destroy the energy behind it. The biophotons are destroyed. No animal in nature cooks their food. Humans are the only creature that cooks their food, and we're the most sick, we're the most diseased, we're the most disconnected, we're the only creature destroying the planet. That's the correlation. You think it's a correlation?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a guy, this is kind of going off topic, but John Rose, I don't know if you guys have heard of John Rose, but he talks about the biophotons all the time. It's almost woo-woo science, but it's not at the same time because science is catching up to, what is it? It's like, is it?
Kirlian photography?
Yeah, Kirlian photography, which it's like a photography that allows you to catch the energy of like, a fruit. But if you cook the fruit, you take a picture of it again, you're not going to have, you have to see it yourself, basically. There's energy that literally comes out of the fruit, but that's us. And when you're putting in it's basically sunlight energy, right? It's sunlight energy. And when you put that into your body, you're becoming that. Because obviously it's kind of like a cliche thing that you always hear. What you eat is what you are, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's really true.
Oh, absolutely. You take a seed out of an apple, you put it in the ground, you get an apple tree. You put the apple in an oven at 400 degrees, you bake it for an hour, you put the same apple in the ground, it's not going to grow an apple tree. That right there should light something off in your head. Ding, 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 ding. That something's going on, And, so yeah, the emotional part, you won't numb yourself. You got to let the things come up, purge yourself. And you'll be more free. You'll be more free. This lifestyle isn't about restriction. I'm more free than I ever have been in my whole life. Because I have the freedom, and you're not gonna. You think, you're gonna be missing out on the foods. You're gonna be missing out. This feeling, and I know you can relate to this. The feeling that we have, it's not worth that other food. You want to talk about missing out? The people that are eating cooked food all the time missing out on this energy. You know what I'm saying? That is missing out. People are missing out. So you start talking about missing out, you're missing out on this energy. You're missing out on this lifestyle. You're missing out on this clarity, your thought process, the connection. It's like, it opens up so much doors for you. I've manifested so much stuff in my life just by having this energy, keeping a high energy and keeping it, it's there, man. It manifests. Sometimes things just instantly happen, and it's just like, it's amazing, dude. It's amazing. It's like, I love this lifestyle. I can't say enough about it. I love this lifestyle, bro.
No, I relate. It's like the more clear you become clear on what you not necessarily a desire, but what you're naturally resonating towards.
Yeah, with numbing yourself, believe it or not, 99.9% of everyone is numbing themselves all day. In my opinion, with the cooked food. And if you don't think cooked foods numb you, then try to stop eating them. Stop eating cooked food for one day. Try it just for one day and tell me that you don't feel more clear. Tell me you don't feel more energized. Tell me that, these things come up, you got to deal with them. You have to purge with them. But it's amazing. It's great because it gives you the freedom. You know what I'm saying? It gives you the freedom to be you, and it gives you the freedom to, just, what do you say, man? What do you say about that?
No, yeah, that's the thing. Like, the part about raw food allowing you to be you, I have found that myself just through in general, because when I first went raw, I didn't really know that was actually a thing. I didn't know raw vegan was a thing at all. I was eating cooked food, but then I just got lazy to like actually cook food. I didn't want to cook food anymore.
Oh, dude, that's a huge thing for me too.
I didn't want to cook food anymore.
That was a huge thing for me. It was like, I was never a cook.
Yeah. And when I started just eating more raw food, I felt like I was able to express, how I really felt inside of myself, like how I really felt.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like that whole, you're just happier, you're more energetic, and then that allows you to have other people around you be more happy because they realize, wow, why is this guy so happy? And it just makes them happier. And I think, it allows you to express yourself just
totally opens
way
up
more.
your heart.
Yeah,
it opens up your heart,
definitely.
Yeah, man, it opens up your heart. So when you stop numbing yourself, you get to understand what are the things that are blocking my energy flow. Where are the kinks in my body? Where are the kinks? What's holding me back? So these things will come straight to your face. These things will be slammed in your face. You can't do nothing about them. You have to deal with them. By dealing with these emotions, it opens your heart. By unkinking the energy flows. I mean, people don't know it, but you may have an ex-girlfriend stuck in your elbow, or you may have your late husband stuck in your kneecap. These things get stored in your body. So when you start facing these things and not numbing yourself, you gotta deal with unkinking the hose. I mean, if you don't, dis-ease gonna come. I mean, all dis-ease starts energetically, then comes physically. Nothing starts physically. Nothing. Everything starts energetically, manifests in the physical. So once you do that, you unkink the hose. Your heart opens up. You realize, oh, I don't have to be like everybody else. I can be me. I can be unique. I can show up to my family dinner with a watermelon. I can show up to my family dinner with a salad. And if they have a problem with it, that's up to them to deal with the problem, not you. It's not up to you. You're just being yourself. You're just being you. You're just being your life, and it's not up to you don't have to please anybody else. It's not up, that's not what life's all about. Just be you, and and the people who are going to love you, the people who are going to support you, they're going to love and support you, and they're going to be there for you. And if somebody else, just like ends your friendship or like kicks you out of the family because like the way you eat, and the only reason I'm bringing this up because I know that it's common. It's common when you start changing your diet and you start changing your foods. Your friends start thinking different things to you. Your family starts thinking different things to you. So that's why I'm talking about this, because I know this comes up. So again, if you lose a connection with somebody, how strong was your connection to that person in the first place? If just something as small as what you're eating changes the dynamic between you. Now I get it sometimes, if you are in the kitchen and you're making food together, and if that was like one of your things, but there's so much more to life than food.
Right.
There's so much more life than food you can do. Food is just this. All food is fuel. If you look at food like fuel, it'll help. It'll help a lot. Get your fuel in, and then enjoy the world. Enjoy the vast world. The trees, the mountains, the hikes, the lakes, the ponds, the snow, the sun, the sleet, the rain, everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. There's so much more to life than food, and people are just magnetized on food so much.
Yeah, no, it's a feel, and if you don't have a reason to or if you're not using the energy that you get from the food for like something higher than that, then what are you doing, right? You're living
for your next meal.
Yeah, you're living for your next meal. And then if you think of food too much, it ends up like another jail in itself.
Yeah, it's a mental illness.
When originally you were trying to get healthier, and health is not just food, it's your people you hang out with,
Boom.
What you think, what
Boom.
you feel.
Boom.
Yeah, it's more than that, but food is something that is of course a big problem. It's a big problem. But at the same time, if you focus on that one specific problem, all these other things in your life are going to be suffering.
Absolutely. It's just, food is just one spoke on the wheel of health. It's one spoke. I focus on it a lot and talk about it a lot and spread the message a lot because I think it's the biggest spoke that's been just messed up. The spoke is so whacked out. The spoke is not anywhere near where it should be. Look around. People are surviving off of off of Cheetos and soda and all these things, and what you're doing is you're just making yourself sicker, and you're making the CEO of that company richer. You know, and hospitals wouldn't exist if we weren't putting ourselves in them. You know what I'm saying? We got so many people in the hospital for no reason at all. You got the bottom floor hospitals serving bacon, and then you go 2 floors up there doing bypass surgeries on the hearts. What in the heck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and it's been so messed up, and that's why we're trying to bring this message of more living foods, more raw foods, more foods that have been cooked by Mother Nature. You know, our food is cooked. This is cooked by the sun. This is cooked by the sun. This fig, it's cooked perfectly. We don't need to do anything else to it. I mean, as soon as you start setting fire to stuff, I mean, you start ruining it. It's just how it is. Put your arm in a fire and tell me it feels good. No. So, yeah, man, we're trying to spread this message. We're trying to get the raw living foods out there. Even if you don't go full raw, we're just trying to tell you, eat more fruit. Eat more fruit, eat more veggies, more salads. You know, you'll be surprised. It'll blow you away once you start eating more of these raw.
Okay, so Brandon, you do coaching, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So if anybody out there, needs help with, maybe transitioning into a raw food diet or just trying to get healthy in general, Brandon on his Instagram, it's called Lightsamps. So you just at Lightsamps on Instagram. You can find him there, and he does coaching, right?
Absolutely. I'd love to help you. We do one-on-one sessions, meetings.